Hello and welcome, friends. So today I was thinking, let's do something different for a change, because we're kind of waiting for more good UAP footage to come in, for new drone footage to come in. And while we wait, why not take a look at some UFO classic photographs and videos that are a debunker's nightmare. The best UFO, UAP photos and videos of all time that nobody has yet managed to successfully debunk. Okay, the year is 1971. An engineer called Sergio Loaiza flies a plane on a mission in Costa Rica in order to survey land for the construction of a hydroelectric power plant. A water dam, basically. He makes a series of photos to survey the land, right? Flies over the land, over the rainforest, and later, when he develops the photographs, there's one picture where he finds a strange object. And this here is the original photograph, okay? You see the area from above, you see land from above, and wow, what is that here? That is a strange silver disc which is only visible on one frame, okay, on one photo. So this means the object must have been going pretty fast, because he was making photos every few seconds, okay? So meaning that in order for the object to be only visible on one photo, it must have gone at a very high speed. And this is what he captured. And recently the negatives were found, okay? The negatives, the originals, were found by a team of the History Channel, and they kind of managed to increase the visual fidelity of the original photograph here seen on the left, okay? And this is the result that they got. This is the enhanced image of this fascinating object. Here we see it again in great detail. So this is absolutely mind-boggling, friends. This is one of the best photos taken of all time. You see that it's not a flat disc, that it has some sort of bulge, okay? There's some sort of bulge here, and there's some sort of black stuff here on top, which kind of looks like a cockpit, some sort of antenna, you know, some sort of antenna and some sort of, I don't know what kind of stuff that is here, but you see you see the outlines of the object. You see it's not a perfectly flat disc. It has a bulge where you would have basically the classical flying disc shape, right? The classic flying disc shape. So this photograph has never been successfully debunked. Nobody knows what it is. You can just say there is something, okay? There is something there, because you can compare it to the other frames before and after. Something was there for a brief moment and then it was gone. So what is it? Is this a bird? No. Is this a balloon? Highly unlikely, because it would have needed to go super fast. So you can basically exclude everything that is possible. You can exclude everything. The only explanation where you could say, oh, it's a smudge on the camera. Really? For just one frame? Just one frame, and then the smudge is gone? And it looks like a very high detail smudge where you can see a silvery disc. Come on. Now to the second one. Area 51, 1990. Someone records a fascinating stuff going on near Area 51. Let's have a look. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, yeah, let's enhance the contrast. Okay, so now we've increased the contrast, and let's have a look what's going on here. So we see a bright object flying at a constant speed, right? And we see a second object doing impossible maneuvers, zigzagging across the sky at insane speeds. Let's just watch it again at enhanced contrast. Look at this. Look what it's doing. Okay? So what we can see is that this second object here is doing quite impossible stuff. Zigzagging around, you know. This object here is going at a constant speed, but the second one, like, this is doing impossible maneuvers, impossible stuff. Now, of course, it's sad that the video quality is not so good, but guys, we're talking 1990 camcorder quality, filming something that obviously you see the mountain peaks here, filming something that is probably like, I don't know, 5-10 miles away from the person filming this, okay? So, I mean, guys, this is This is as good at it as it gets from that distance. And the maneuvers, no plane, nothing could do such. Like, look how it's zigzagging. Like, it's here, it's doing a 180-degree turn. Like, here it's doing a 180-degree turn. Like, this is insane. We can actually increase the contrast even more so that we get even more information. Like, look at this. Look how it's zigzagging. Like, the trajectory of this second object here, this one is not impressive, okay? But this second one here, like, are you kidding me? What is it, huh? Oh, it's a balloon. Oh, it's a drone. No, friends, look, this is real time. You see the timestamps here. This is going on in real time. We're talking hundreds of meters, hundreds of yards of like instant kind of movement, super fast travel, sharp turns, 180 degrees turns, insane acceleration, okay? This is good stuff, and it's 1990, guys. What could it have been? Huh? What could it have been? Now here's another classic. Catalina Island off the coast of California in 1966. A Navy photographer has his filming equipment with him, wanting to do some videos of the island, when suddenly he spots a strange object flying in the distance. Let's have a look at it. Huh. Enhanced contrast and slow motion. Guys, you can see it's a disc. You can see it's a silvery metallic object without wings, without any kind of stuff. And you can see it vanishing behind the peak, okay? So here, let's enhance the contrast ourselves, okay? Let's enhance the contrast ourselves. Here, let's zoom in. Enhance contrast, zoom in. Look at this. I mean, come on, guys. You don't see wings, you don't see exhaust, you don't see propellers. And we're talking 1966. Okay, we're talking 1966. So this seems to be a quite large object if you compare it with the size of these peaks in the distance. And you can see it vanishing, you see? The video cuts off here, but you can see it vanishing behind the peak. So it's hundreds of meters away, hundreds of meters. For our American friends, that's like 3 times as many feet. Now this is a solid metallic object, here zoomed in. Look at this, okay? It's vanishing, you can see it vanishing behind the peak. So it must be quite far away. And what that means in turn is that it is a large object. It is freaking large. I would assume that being so far away, we're talking at least a diameter of 30 to 50 feet, 10 to 15 meters, at least, lower bound. I would say maybe 20, 30 meters of diameter, if I was to guess. So this here is an excellent, okay, this is an excellent video, high quality video taken in 1966 by a credible person, a Navy photographer called Lee Hansen, a very credible person, okay, not a guy like, I don't know, doing stuff. He's from the US Navy, and he films this object with his, for that time, very high quality camera. So friends, this is good stuff here, okay? This is hard to debunk. Like, what would you say this is? What? Like, how would you debunk this? Oh, it's a secret government project. Oh, it's the Avro car. Really, the Avro car? This thing here? This here? This thing never got off the ground for more than 2 or 3 feet off the ground. It never managed to fly higher than 2 or 3 feet off the ground. And that's the best that the US Air Force had in the 60s, resembling a silver disc. It's the best they had. Okay? There was nothing back then that could do such stuff. There was nothing back then that looked like a silver sphere without wings, just traveling without any visible forms of propulsion. What? I hear you say you're still not convinced? Okay, we have more, we have much more, we have much more. Kelvin, Scotland, 1990. Okay? 2 hikers go for a hike in Scotland. The weather is crap as usual, we're talking Scotland here, friends. Cloudy sky, and suddenly they see something in the distance. A strange object. And not far away, they see another object, okay? This is a fighter, a jet fighter, sent out by a nearby Royal Air Force base. And this here is a diamond-shaped thing in the sky, okay? Let's just zoom in here. Let's just zoom in. Like, come on. Like, what? Oh, it's a secret government program. Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, right. Like, okay, let's assume it's some sort of bizarre balloon. I have never seen such a balloon shape before or after in my life, especially not at that time. So what could it be? Friends, what could it be? Let's enhance contrast. Okay, let's enhance the contrast. Let's reduce the brightness. You can see some surface features here. Look at this. Okay? And the context is very important with the jet fighter plane in the background as well. So you establish important contextual information, telling you that this is a very large object. This is like, okay, I would assume that from side to side, this has a diameter of like 20-30 meters. Okay, this is a large object. This is not your everyday balloon. You have also important contextual information of the foreground. You see stuff here, you see a fence, you see hills in the distance, you see that it's a foggy day. You see the hills in the distance, you see vegetation here, a tree in the front. So this is very important contextual information. And you can see that this is a very, very large object, okay? Now the debunkers will say, oh yeah, secret government program, whatever, next. Okay, that's your solution, secret government program? Like everything that cannot be explained is a secret government program. Where are those things if they have been, like if the US Army or the Royal Air Force has been experimenting with stuff like that since 1990 for over 34 years, where are those things? Huh? Have you seen them in combat even once? Have you seen them on the war field? I don't know, in Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever, even only once? If the US Air Force would have such technology, they would freaking use it. Be sure of it, okay? They would freaking use this stuff all the time. They would use it to win every war with ease. Bam, they materialize, bam, they fly instantly, accelerate to whatever, I don't know, the next war zone and drop insane bombs and pew, even before the enemy could react, they would zip out, zip away. And the two hikers who made this photograph, okay, they didn't have time to make a second photo because this thing then flew away. They didn't have time to make a second photograph. So this is insane stuff, and it has been analyzed by many experts over the years. And this is deemed authentic, as are, by the way, all the previous photos and videos that I have shown you. I can already hear the debunkers still not convinced. Secret government programs, balloon. Okay, next one. Footage from a war zone, Iraq, declassified by the Department of Defense, okay? Official footage by the Department of Defense. They captured a strange metallic object in a war zone at Mosul, Iraq about 10 years ago, okay? Let's have a look what this object could be. What's that? A silver sphere? A metallic silver sphere? Just flying in from somewhere? And don't get me started with parallax effect. We have no parallax effect here because this has been filmed by a stationary drone, a US military drone, I assume. And you can see that we are completely stationary in the beginning, okay? Like there is no movement. We are stationary, okay? And this object zips in from somewhere, so parallax effect can be excluded, okay? And this object here has no visible means of propulsion. It looks like just a solid silver sphere. Then the camera follows it, And you can see, I mean, I would be interested to see more of the footage, but we always only get these snippets that are declassified by the Department of Defense. But this is insane stuff. So it cannot be a drone because we don't see any openings. I mean, if we zoom in here, right? This is a closed object, okay? No propellers, no rotors, no openings whatsoever. And actually, we even have a much clearer photograph of this thing here. Now, this, friends, is a photograph taken of the same object, also, I assume, at a similar time, much higher resolution, okay? Look at this thing here. You even see, like, this was taken by a US Army drone, I suppose. You see a lot of data here, okay? A lot of data, coordinates and stuff. And here we see the object. And I mean, look at this thing. It is a closed sphere. It is a closed metallic sphere, a closed orb. No openings. No openings. Just flying through the air. Just flying through the air. Now, how is it doing this? How is it doing this? Huh? Please tell me. No parallax effect. No openings whatsoever. Oh, it's a forgery. Oh, it's a forgery. Oh, it's made up. It's a computer animation by the Department of Defense to kind of, I don't know, to confuse people. I don't know, a false flag operation. I don't know what. Okay, so that's your last resort. If any conventional explanation fails, it's like always, oh yeah, this is a trick. This is a forgery. I don't know. It's a secret government program. Okay. How about the more likely explanation at this point, that these are objects that we cannot really make any sense of with our conventional earthly 21st century technology and 20th century technology, by the way. How about that explanation, which I think is a far more likely one? Okay, how about the next one? Late 80s Florida. Ed Walters sees some strange object near the city of Gulf Breeze. He films these objects. He films them. Let's have a look at what he sees. Whoop. It's gone. Whoop. Where did it go? This is some of the best footage of instantaneous acceleration you will ever see. Look at this. See how it zips away? Like how it zips away. We're talking late 80s here, okay? This is before CGI was ubiquitous. This is before AI forgeries. This guy filmed stuff with his VHS camcorder in the sky, okay? Look at this object, how it zips away instantaneously. Zip! Zip! It's freaking gone. Look at this. Whoop! 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 Look at this. How it zips away. Here too. Boop. Here and boop, it's gone. You see? You see how, let's again increase contrast. Let's again increase contrast. Friends, look at this. Looks like how does it look like? Oh, like a solid silver sphere. Like the one in Mosul, Iraq. Boop. Look. Here, it's gone. And you can see how it's like, it blurs to some sort of like elongated blob because of the insane acceleration. It blurs. Here, look at this. Bup, bup, bup. You see? Like this is crazy, friends. This is crazy. Look at this, how it zooms away. Bup. Look at this. Bup, bup. Here you can see it zip across the sky. It's zipping across the sky. Insane. Like look at this insane. Bup, instantaneous acceleration. Again. Bup, bup. Here too. Look at this. Solid silver sphere. Look at how it zips away. Bup, bup. You can see the elongated blob. Look at this. Huh? The elongated blob. Like, what? How do you explain this? Oh, it's a forgery. Also, everything is fake. We're talking late 80s, friends. Late 80s. This is before ubiquitous availability of, I don't know, CGI and stuff. Not everything is always a forgery. Okay, still not convinced. Next one, Picacho Peak, 1967. A guy goes hiking, takes his photo camera with him, hoping that he makes some impressive panoramic pictures from Picacho Peak. He goes walking, he goes hiking for a while. What does he see? What does he see? A strange sphere, a strange object in the distance between two outcrops of rock. Look at this thing, how it's just floating there in the air, how it's just floating, okay? Again, very clear photograph, and it provides important context. You don't just see a blob in the sky, you see a rotating silver sphere just seems to hover between those two peaks. Let's zoom in and we will get some fascinating information here. Look at this. Look at this photograph here. Look at how clear it is. Look at the resolution. People often like to say, oh, but we have much higher quality photographs today possible because of smartphones. No, friends. Smartphones are crap. Why? Because the optical lenses are very small. Okay? The optical lenses of this are inferior, very much inferior to a high quality photo camera from the 60s and 70s because they had such big photographic lenses and zoom objectives, zoom camera lenses which allow you a high magnification and a very high optical zoom. Optical zoom is always superior to digital zoom. This stuff here is not as good as you think it is, okay? So look at the high resolution we get in these old photographs from the 60s. And we see this thing here, this is fascinating on so many levels, I don't even know where to start. You have the correct lighting from the sun, okay? The sun rays must be coming from the upper left corner of the picture. And you see the shadow here. You see it's a reflective, kind of like polished sphere. You can see even that it has some reflections going on. It must be like kind of quite polished, right? Look at this. We can increase contrast a little bit. Can increase contrast. And you see that it has some sort of like protrusion. And this is not all. You can see it even cast a shadow on the ground. Because if the sun rays come here from the upper left of the picture, which we can see very clearly here on the rocks, you can say, hey, this is casting a shadow on the ground? Are you kidding me? It's casting a solid shadow on the ground here. Like, you can clearly see that this object is not in the foreground. It is quite far away. You can see it immediately, very clearly from the haze, from the inferred distance between the two peaks. And you can also see it quite clearly from the cast shadow on the ground. So this is an amazing photo, a very much more unknown photograph, which I still think is one of the best UFO photographs ever taken. And it's again these kind of spheres, silver spheres that we saw in Mosul, Iraq, for instance, or that Ed Walters filmed here before in Gulf Breeze in the late 80s. So these are common forms and shapes that have been filmed for many decades all over the world. And now possibly the most famous one that has been released by the Department of Defense. Again, this is official US Air Force, I assume, or US Navy footage that has been taken off the Tic Tacs off the coast of California in 2004, okay? And many say, oh, but they are not so impressive. They are not so impressive. Yes, there are more impressive parts and some that are not so impressive. For instance, you have the Go Fast, you have the famous Go Fast, you have the famous FLIR footage, you know, the famous, it's rotating, there's a whole fleet of them, you know. Those are the famous ones, but what I find much more interesting are those ones here that are kind of like sometimes overlooked, in my opinion, okay? They are overlooked because everyone pays attention to the Go Fast and to the FLIR, but this here, this is the good stuff. So the camera has found an object and has locked onto it. It has locked onto it. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's interesting. Did you see it? Okay, again. This, friends, is an incredible piece of footage that is often overlooked. And what does it show us? It shows the Tic Tac object. It shows this Tic Tac here that has no discernible features, just looks like an elongated propane tank, zipping away, accelerating instantaneously. Let's have a look again. You see? Zip, 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 zip. Aha! Highly interesting. Why is nobody talking about this? Why is everybody talking about the go fast? Why is everybody talking about the FLIR? Look what this object is doing. It's standing still. Now suddenly it gets blurred. What? Why does it get blurred? And then it zips away. You can see it in the next frame. In the next frame, it is already here. And one frame later, we can see it here. Okay? We can see it here. And one frame later, it's gone. So this object has accelerated at such an insane speed that one frame later, it has jumped like, I don't know how many, tens of meters. If David Fravor's description of this object is accurate, and I think it is, then this object had a diameter of a few meters. Okay? He described it in size similar to an F-18. An F-18 is what? 10 meters long? So if this object is 10 meters long, 30 feet, for my imperial loving American friends, then this means that here, look how far it jumped in one frame. Like one freaking frame. It jumped already like, what? A few lengths away. Like 30, 40, 50 meters? Look, if this is 10 meters, the diameter is 10 meters, it has jumped in one single frame. One frame. And if it's 25 FPS, we're talking 0.04 seconds. We're talking 40 milliseconds. In 40 milliseconds, it has jumped 50 meters of distance. That, friends, is a freaking insane acceleration of over 1,000 G. Over 1,000 G forces. Okay? So, guys, seriously, we have footage here that shows that this object suddenly jumps away at an insane speed. Okay? It jumps away at an insane speed. And look how it blurs first. And this is important. Why is this important? Well, I tell you why. Because I think this is the propulsion system of this object. I think this is the gravity drive, or let's say the anti-gravity drive, ramping up. Okay? It ramps up, and by doing so, it distorts the surrounding space-time. Because that's how these objects move. That's how they move, by distorting space-time around them. And when it activates the drive, it distorts the light around it. That's a natural consequence of the anti-gravity propulsion of this object. Look at it. Boop. Anti-gravity drive ramping up, getting blurred, and boop, jumps away tens of meters in milliseconds. Over 1,000 G-forces. Okay? Oh, it's a forgery. Oh, hey guys, this is official Pentagon footage. DoD footage. Like, come on. What would they gain by releasing such stuff? And Lou Elizondo describes pretty impressively in his book Imminent how difficult it actually was to get this stuff out. It's not like, it was so easy to get this stuff out. Guys, he had to go through quite some loops here to get this stuff out, okay? It's not like it was super easy. Lou Elizondo and other whistleblowers said that the DoD, as you can imagine, has much better footage. Much higher resolution. He said 4K high resolution, high definition footage of such objects. That is still tucked away, still kind of top secret, not released to the public, still waiting to be released. Okay? But even so, even with this not so amazing footage. We see the Tic Tac, we see it here, and we see it zipping. And here, look at it, look at it again. It's doing it again later. Bup, 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 bup. It's so fast that the camera cannot get a hold of it. Okay? The camera cannot get a hold of it. Look at it. See? This is insane, guys, and nobody talks about it. I don't get it. I don't get why. Because this is the most amazing part of the footage. This here. And here later again. It does it again. Whoop! And gone it is. Again. Tries to get hold of it. Whoop! And gone it is. Oh, it's all a forgery. Really? Friends, so we saw now some of the best photographic and video evidence that UAPs are real objects, real physical objects, not imagination. So we saw a lot of excellent footage today that hopefully convinces even die-hard skeptics that there is something real behind this, friends. There is something real behind this. And as if that wasn't enough, tomorrow I will release the second part with even more insane footage. So you can look forward to tomorrow, because I'm still not done. We have more photos and more videos to go through tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, friends, for having the patience. I know it was a bit lengthy, but it was important to show the footage, okay? It was important. You can take, if you have a friend who is a super skeptic, show him this video and just see what his reaction or her reaction will be. Okay? You can take this video and share it with your super skeptic friends. Thank you so much for watching, friends. Thanks to all our Patreons who support this channel. You people are... I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Have a wonderful day and see you in the next video tomorrow. Bye!